Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels. And today, folks, we are looking at something rather interesting. Now, those of you who watch this channel before the DC Circuit Court did its stupidity with the JRC, they know the name Roberta Kaplan. We know her involvement with the JD versus AH case, and we know her doubling down on stupidity. So, something interesting came to light. I believe it was last week. You have to forgive me, I've slept since then. And this woman is not exactly high on my priority list with her special level of stupid. But interesting news came up about her. And this is coming out after it has already been mentioned at least a year and a half, 2 years, a great good deal of time ago. And just now, the media has decided to catch up with what the rest of us already, as the quote goes, we been knew. And what is that? Well, this is coming to us through theguardian.com. And by the way, you will find the link to this article in the description box as always. Time's Up leader resigns after criticism for aiding Cuomo administration on sexual harassment allegations. Now, as I am not digging too deeply into the Cuomo situation, not because I'm not interested, but because between the JRC and JD's case, as well as working a full-time job, let's just say my cup has been over full for a good long moment, and my God, does this sister here need a vacation. Just saying. And Georgie, this is for the conspiracy theorists who think like neurodiversity movement is some kind of whacked out multi-million-dollar conspiracy. I could use that multi-million-dollar check I'm supposedly supposed to get from you. It's about 13 years late and I need a vacation and I would like to not live in my current state. Just saying. Moving on. Can we tell we're not awake entirely? I mean, I know I look better than I usually do most mornings, but moving on. So, Roberta Kaplan is the latest prominent figure to quit in the wake of scandal engulfing Cuomo. Roberta Kaplan has resigned as chairwoman of Time's Up after facing widespread criticism for allegedly advising New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration on sexual harassment and allegations against him. Now, for those of us who've been following exactly the kind of hypocritical nonsense this woman has been up to, she also defended Harvey Weinstein, and yet Me Too propped her up as the epitome of women's defense. Interesting, isn't it? Kaplan, a prominent lawyer who founded Time's Up Legal Defense Fund and represents the writer E. Jean Carroll in a defamation lawsuit against Donald Trump, resigned on Monday, becoming the latest prominent figure to quit in the wake of the scandal engulfing Cuomo. Time's Up was set up in response to the Me Too movement to promote gender equality. The news was first reported by New York Times and confirmed by the organization. Last week, a report from the New York Attorney General found Cuomo had sexually harassed 11 women and found that Kaplan had reviewed a draft of an op-ed letter aimed at attacking Lindsey Boylan, a former aide of the governor and the first to publicly accuse him of sexual harassment. The letter was never published, but was part of a broader effort by the governor's inner circle to discredit Boylan, the report found. On Sunday, a senior aide to the governor, Melissa DeRosa, who was found to be a central part of the effort to retaliate against Boylan, resigned from the administration. According to the Times, Kaplan announced her resignation by letter on Monday, stating that as practicing attorney, she could not openly answer questions about her involvement with Cuomo or DeRosa. Of course she can. Just like she can't answer any questions about her involvement with Weinstein. But we're all just supposed to believe her when she says that AH is just the epitome of the strong, independent woman type, right? Spare me. You spare me, okay? Just spare me. Moving on. I therefore have reluctantly come to the conclusion that an active law practice is no longer compatible with serving on the board at Time's Up at this time, and I hereby resign, Kaplan wrote, according to the Times. Let's put it straight, Roberta. You resigned because you finally got caught. It was all fun and games when you would just slam back and then block, gaslight and then block millions of Johnny Depp supporters when you were faced with heaps and heaps and heaps of evidence. But when your hand got caught in a cookie jar and the media finally caught up with your hypocritical ass, that is why you resigned. You can't expect me to believe that suddenly you had an attack of conscience. Not somebody like you. Her resignation came as a group of 48 sexual assault survivors posted an open letter to Time's Up, criticizing both Kaplan and the organization's CEO, Tina Jin, who is also named in the Attorney General's report. We write to you as a collective group of survivors and victims who believe Time's Up is failing the survivor community. We believed in your mission and hoped that your investment in eradicating sexual assault and harassment in the workplace would change the tide to support us as we came forward. But we are disappointed, the letter states. It also calls for a third-party investigation, illustrating the full extent to which the Time's Up board members and staff members have been approached by, offered advice to, or are representing perpetrators of harm. In a statement, Time's Up said Kaplan's resignation was the right and appropriate thing to do. The Attorney General's report found that Cuomo groped, kissed, or made suggestive comments to 11 women in violation of the law, prompting local prosecutors to launch a criminal investigation and reigniting calls for him to resign or be impeached. The investigation, which took almost 5 months to complete, interviewed 179 people and was conducted by 2 outside lawyers, found the Cuomo administration was a hostile work environment that was rife with fear and intimidation. Cuomo's attorneys have attempted to attack integrity of the report as the governor seeks to cling to his position, despite mounting bipartisan calls for him to resign. The New York Assembly is considering articles of impeachment against the governor. We have a small... Oh. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to read their little byline. Here's the thing, folks. I do not believe that the Me Too movement in and of itself is a horrible thing. I don't. I believe in its grassroots. It was made in order to actually help people who've been through horrible, horrific things. But it got hijacked. All of a sudden, male survivors of this sort of treatment were silenced and pushed to the side. All of a sudden, the people that were at the top of the Time's Up and Me Too movements started reaping millions of dollars. All of a sudden, hypocrites like Kaplan, who were promoted as paragons of virtue and righteousness when fighting for women's rights, came along and took advantage. So do I think the Me Too movement should be scrapped or the Time's Up? No. Here's what I think. I think the Me Too movement and Time's Up needs to clean house. You need to do away with those who are at the top of all these funds, with them getting millions and millions of dollars and racking up the benefits. That is not what activism is supposed to be about. It is not supposed to be a money-making machine. It's supposed to be a social movement that actually changes things, not assisting the rich in getting richer. Number two, we need to get rid of the hypocrites. People like Kaplan, who on one hand are supposedly supporting women, while on the other, who defending legally the worst perpetrators. In this case, I'm referring to, of course, Harvey Weinstein. Number three, Me Too has got to stop. Got to stop with not only silencing male survivors' voices, but also basically shouting men down, portraying men as the enemy. Here's the thing, men too have been the subject of sexual harassment. And guess what? This whole concept of it can't be sexual harassment if they like it is some of the most disgusting crap I've heard as of late. No, ladies. Men aren't all about being objectified and harassed in the office any more than you are. Okay? Men, too, have been affected, been demoted, have sometimes lost their jobs when they have refused the advances of their female bosses. This is a truth. Men victims should be voices that are heard within the Me Too movement and not excluded. Men victims' voices should count. And also, Me Too, you need to stop with the lynch mob mentality that has taken over your movement. What do I mean? I mean this idea of absolutely destroying a person's career and personal life when even a rumor goes out about them. We should not be operating off of rumors. Everyone has the right to due process. And as far as these people are concerned, maybe they're guilty, maybe they're not. But that is something that should be hashed out in the courts, not on social media, and not have their lives torn apart and set on fire based on a rumor without substantiated evidence to back it up. So, Me Too, my advice, clean house. Quit completely focusing all of your efforts on one gender when both genders are experiencing the very things that you are supposed to be advocating against. And quit propping up hypocrites and only getting rid of them when their hypocrisy comes to light. All right? Okay. So, that's all I've got to say for this morning, unless some new stupidity decides to find its way out of the woodwork. As always, folks, we don't get many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.